Alright everybody, what is going on? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to take a look at the rear brakes on my 2019 Harley Sportster Iron 1200. These rear brakes have been squeaking for the longest time, probably over 3 years that I've owned this bike. It's starting to get really annoying. I think we have a couple tips and tricks to get that fixed up. We're going to dive into those rear brakes, see if we can get that cleaned up, stop that squeaking. We'll take it for a ride and see if it worked. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so here we are. We're all set up at the rear brakes back here. Like I said, this thing has been squeaking for as long as I have owned this motorcycle. I've tried a couple other things like some sprays and some cleaners to try to get it to stop, but none of that has worked up until this point. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to finally remove the pads, see if we can get them cleaned up, clean up some of the casing that the pad sits in, and see if we can get that fixed up. But first, let's take a little look into what we're working with back here. Of course, a couple components of the brake. We've got the caliper here. The pads are sitting inside of the caliper, and the rotor, of course, back over here. So some of the things I did before, I'd sprayed the rotor down. I had tried to clean that up a little bit, tried to spray some air up into the caliper, see if that would clean stuff up, and none of that had really worked so far. So I know some people have said in my videos they hear that rear brake squeaking. They've had the same problem with some of their bikes, the Iron 883, the Iron 1200. So if you were able to fix this up yourself, let me know what you did. And if it's similar to what we're going to do here today, we're going to remove the brake pads from the caliper. We're going to clean those up, and then we're going to clean up a little casing that the pad sits in. Because from what I have heard is dust and grime can build up in there and cause vibration and cause some of that squeaking. So first thing, all we got to do is we've got a little pin right here that slides all the way to the back of the caliper, holds those pads in, and there's a little retaining clip right here. So what we're going to do, like I said, is we are going to remove this pin here. All you need is a socket. We're going to get those pads out, get them cleaned up, and then we're going to hop on the bike and see if that fixed it. So all you're going to need to remove that pin is a 5/16 socket. So we're going to start twisting away, wrenching away at this socket. We're going to pull that pin out. That's going to allow us to remove the brake pads then at that point. So once we get this pin out, we're going to apply a little pressure to those pads. We'll show you that in just a second once we get this pin out. Now, one thing to keep in mind here as we're removing this pin, this retaining clip is going to pop out. So make sure you keep an eye on it. It's probably going to pop out somewhere once you pull this pin out. So there we go. We got it just about hand loose now. We're going to give it a little pull, and that retaining clip popped out right there. So you got your pin, got your retainer clip. Make sure we set those off to the side. We're going to need those when we put it back in. Make sure we remember where we put them. All right, so we'll give you a closer look down in there. You can see the pads here. That's where the pin was going through. What we're going to do now is we're going to put a little pressure on both of these with our fingers. We need to depress the piston in here that's pressing against it to create a little space so that'll slide out. So we're going to reach in through the top and then around the back, and then there you have it. The pad slides right out. So here's the front of the face of the brake pad here, and then of course we've got the little retaining clip that it sits in right here. So we're going to get both of these spots cleaned up once we get the front pad out too. So then again, we're just going to put a little pressure here to press that piston, and then boom, that slides right out. Again, there's your brake pad, and then the little casing, the little retainer that it sits in. Alrighty, so like I said, we're going to remove the little clip, the little retainer here. This is where some of that dust and grime can build up. So we want to give that a little clean right here. Clean the back of the pad. And then we're going to clean this retaining clip too. See if we can clean off any dust and dirt and grime in there that could be creating any vibration or squeaking. There we go. Pop it back in there. Also going to hit the front of the pad with just a very light little sandpaper. Just a light little brush of some sandpaper there. Let's set this down. We're going to grab the other one. Here's the second one. Again, let's just give it a little wipe, a little clean right there. Back of the pad. Also clean this retaining clip here. And then again, we're just going to hit it real light, clean off the front of the pad. real light with some sandpaper. Alrighty, so we got our pads both ready to go back in there. We got that pin, we got that retaining clip. We've already got the pistons depressed, so they should slide, so these pads should slide right back in there nice and easy. Alrighty, so we got the pads and the casing cleaned up. So we're gonna slide these back in here where they came from. There's one in. And then we're gonna put the second one in. Alrighty, so we are almost done here. We've got our retaining clip and our pin that we're gonna pop in here. Now, it can be a little difficult to get these items lined up here, so we're gonna try to line these holes up the best we can. Pop this clip in here. And then next we got our pin that's gonna go in. And then from here, we're gonna finish up that tightening with our 5/16. Make sure we got that pin tight there. The retaining clip is sitting nice. And there you have it, the brake pads are back in. We got them cleaned up. Hopefully that removed any of that dirt and dust and grime that was causing any vibration or squeaking. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna hop on the bike, give it a test, tap those brakes, see if it worked. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so we got this thing fired up. As you saw, the brakes, we got them back in there, we got them cleaned up, so we're gonna hop right on, and we're gonna know pretty quickly, because obviously I live in the city, we do a lot of stopping. We're gonna know pretty quickly if this worked, if this took away the squeak. Alright, I'm gonna leave my visor up as we go along here. And let me just apply a little pressure on the rear, slow down. Okay, there was nothing there. Again, like I said, I'm gonna leave the visor up so we get a good sound. See if we can hear that squeak at all. Alright, so here's a red light. We're gonna coast right to a stop. Rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear brake, rear light. Wow, okay. So that was pretty much all rear brake on that stop as I coasted to it. And that was normally where I would hear a lot of that squeak, was right in that kind of like middle range of just light of pressure there. So obviously we got some more lights coming up. We'll see how we do here. All right, light pressure on the brake. Nothing. Light pressure as we go around this turn a little bit, slow down. All right, let's apply the brake here. Nothing. So we're pretty good so far. We've coasted to a couple stops. I haven't heard any squeaking yet. All right, we're gonna coast to another red light right here. Rear brake, rear brake. Rear brake, rear brake, nothing. Alrighty, so I think that worked for now at least. I don't know if that squeak is gonna come back. I don't know if it gets all dirty and crusty in there again, if we'll get some more vibration and squeaking. Let's hit it again, slowing down just a little bit. Nothing. So I think we're good as of right now. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to come back or what, but that squeaking was getting so bad that it was like almost embarrassing to ride the bike around. So it sounds like we have that resolved, I would say. All right, so we're gonna slow down and let me back off the brake a little bit. No, that's good. I'm not hearing any squeaking coming up out of there. And again, all we did was we just removed the brake pads. There's a little casing that they sit in. We cleaned up the back of the pad. We cleaned up the casing. Removed any dirt and dust and grime in there. Let me hit this brake again. Yeah, we're good. So we got no squealing going on right now. Coast to a stop here. A lot of pressure, no pressure, light pressure. So yeah, I'm liking this so far. We got that squeak gone. So it seems that cleaning up that worked. Again, I hit the front of the pad with a little sandpaper too. Clean off any crap there. So yeah, there you have it. We got rid of that squeaky rear brake. I know other people have told me down in the comments that they had the same problem, asking me if I had ever done anything about it. I tried to clean up the rotor and stuff and spray some air in there. That's all I had ever done, which did not really work. But so this appears to have worked. Take the brake pads out, clean up the back, clean up that retaining clip. That seems to have actually worked. So I know there's also a little like lubricant that some people put back there to create like a buffer, reduce any squeaking and stuff. I haven't tried that yet, but if it comes back, maybe I will try that. Let's coast to another stop here. All right, no squeak. So yeah, there you have it. If you've had that same issue, let me know. And if you fixed it, also drop me a comment down there to let me know how you fixed it up. If you took the same steps, if you did something different that I might also have to try, I might have to try that too then. Let me know. So that will have to wrap it up for now. Taking a look at the squeaky rear brakes of the Harley Sportster Iron 1200. If this helps you out at all, let me know. Drop a comment down there. Or make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel to make sure you stay up to date on everything else we got coming up for the rest of the year. As always, ride safe out there, make it a good one, guys. It's the Moto, John. We'll see y'all on down the road. Peace.